Now, Naeem,
Yes, sir.
I know you've been playing clerical. I love your shoes.
Thank you.
I know you've been playing a clerical person and all that, but getting back to where we ended up on the last class, to get into the feel like I just did with Jackie, you know. What tempo, first of all, are you going to get it in? How do we get that bossa nova samba feel? How do we get that?
Gotcha.
I get you. I got you. It's all right. You got it. All right. And you're thinking quiet nights, and this is making you feel like that. And you give them a count. Once you give them the feel, give them a count.
How, 1, 2,
1, 2, 3.
Quiet nights of quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitar, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet thoughts and quiet dreams, quiet walks by quiet streams, and a window looking on the mountains and the sea. How lovely, this is where I wanna be. Here with you, so close to me, until the finer flicker of love's embers. I was lost and lonely, thinking that love was only a tragic, tragic joke I find with you. The meaning of existence, my love. This is where I wanna be, here with you, so close to me, until the final flicker of love's ember. I who was lost and lonely, thinking that love was only a bitter, tragic joke I found with you. The meaning of existence, oh my love. Oh
Did you say that you've never done this song?
I never sung the song.
Okay, well, I mean, because I thought, I mean, which is okay, we'll work on this, but in order to teach you phrasing, I guess it was probably be a little better to have done a song that you've done before, so we could, you know,
Do you want me to
move that
pick it?
around. Well, no, it's cool. We could work on this too, but I mean, you know, right? I mean, everybody's doing a song that they know, and then we try to redo it again, you know. So you have to, this song you have to learn originally. You should know the lyrics and the melodies. It's better if we work on a song, and if you're going to be messing with phrasing, that you know the melody and you know the lyrics. That would be a good start.
I didn't have the melody.
No, you had everything
Okay.
cool, but I can
Right.
see you're reading lyrics and
Yeah.
looking at it.
Do you
So,
want me to get the other music? I can.
what else do you have that we could do that would be
Got,
that would
But
you know?
that was good to try it.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
good, and
Yeah,
I would
it
give
was
you. All I can tell you about that is the same thing because you.
So Dave, if we could do it somewhat rubato in the beginning, and then the third page here.
I know.
Okay.
I don't want to get to it before we
Okay.
get to it.
You go to my head, and you linger like haunting refrain, and I find you spinning round in my brain like the bubbles in a glass of champagne. You go to my head like a sip of sparkling burgundy brew, and I find the very mention of you like the kicker in a julep or two. The thrill of the thought that you might give a thought to my plea casts a spell over me. Still I say to myself, get a hold of yourself. Can't you see it never will be? You go to my head with a smile that makes my temperature rise like a summer with 1,000 Julys. You intoxicate my soul with your eyes, though I'm certain that this heart of mine hasn't a ghost of a chance in this crazy romance. You go to my head. You go to my head. You go to my head.
Hard song, huh?
What's that?
It's a hard song.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't quite have enough air to do the ending you
Yeah.
wanted to do.
No, I didn't.
I mean, the
With no cigar.
No, I don't mean it like that, but
I
I
know
mean
you
it
don't.
was like,
no, this is what we're doing.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I wasn't taking.
But I mean,
was joking.
this,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, I want you to do it again, okay, obviously. And you gotta have a lot more air. And also, I want you to remember, I saw you kind of, but you got, when a song like that especially, we were talking about earlier, where you gotta get this thing we got going. That airflow, that breath. Right?
Mhm.
And then you got more air, and open your clearly with more air. Don't be afraid to let it out, because you got the emotion. I can tell by you moving. This is right.
Uh-huh.
And then right, just think about those brushes. Yeah. It does, it does it just so you get this happening, and you're still rocking left like we were doing earlier. Boom, 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 boom. Right?
Uh-huh.
It's all going on silently. But I want you gotta breathe, open your mouth, let the words come out. You go to my head. Just say that, right? Say the line for me.
You go to my head. You go to my head.
Right. I mean, as a matter of fact, you talk a little bit of the verse for me right now in time, okay? So as if you talk, just after your conversation. Like you would not say, there was a line I wrote down, you would not say, for instance, crazy romance. You wouldn't say that, right? Crazy romance, crazy romance. Everything has to be groovy. Everything has to be flowing. Go. So just talk a little bit for me in rhythm. You
Go to my.
just like it would be the phrasing you do for singing. Go to my head, right? Go ahead, talk.
You go to my head,
And you linger.
Okay, so you're not feeling what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
No, I'm not.
Okay, but you're singing it in time. If you sang it, you'd say, "You go to my head," right?
Mm-hmm.
We just do that without melody. The same phrasing as if you were singing. And we're going to try to stay in the groove. You're talking, the way you would be singing. You go to my head.
And you linger like a haunting refrain. And I find you spinning round in my brain, like the bubbles in a glass of champagne.
Right, and do that again with a little more air and open your mouth a little more. You
Go to my head, and you linger like a
But listen to that line. And you linger like do. Just keep cool. You linger. You don't talk like that.
Okay.
Okay. So you go to my head, and you linger like a haunting refrain. Right. We're grooving now, right?
And I find you spinning round in my brain.
I say, and I find you spinning round in my brain. Go ahead.
Like the bubbles in a glass of champagne.
Like the bubbles in a glass of champagne. You got to pucker up. So let's try singing it like that, and think about that for the whole tune, okay? And do not stop breathing. If I say breathe, don't get scared. Keep singing.
You know, it's funny how it's such a thing that we do easily, but then when we sing, it's more complicated.
I understand. I
It's
understand.
stupid,
But
it's dumb.
and don't forget that little sound we just made, that flow. Right?
Uh-huh.
You go to my head. Ya do da do do da do da. That's right.
And I find you spinning round.
Right.
in my
And the bridge, same thing. Keep very aware. You're going to need air for that.
Mhm.
All right. Let's try it again one more time.
Let's
See what
just keep it
happens.
in time.
Well, I mean, if you want to try the rubato, that might be a good lesson to expose
Okay,
it.
good. I'm
Yeah.
here to learn, so.
Yeah, do the first part, just do her arrangement, because I want to hear her transparently do this. But you still got to be thinking that, even though it's rubato, kind of,
You go to my head, and you linger like a haunting refrain, and I find you spinning round in my brain, like the bubbles in a glass of champagne. You go to my head like a sip of sparkling burgundy brew, and I find the very mention of you like the kicker in a julep or two. The thrill of the thought that you might give a thought to my plea cast a spell over me. Still I say to myself, get a hold of yourself, can't you see? It never will be. You go to my head with a smile that makes my temperature rise, like a summer with 1,000 Julys. You intoxicate my soul with your eyes, though I'm certain that this heart of mine hasn't a ghost of a chance go to my head. You go to my head. You go to my head.
See how that air gets that pitch happening? Yeah. That's it.
Not so much, what I hear is not so much the breathing, but the flowing on the breath, the singing on the
Yeah.
breath. I
Well,
think that's what,
But your words are more clear too.
Yeah.
You just gotta, listen, if you get nothing else about singing lessons, you gotta breathe and open your mouth.
yes.
Otherwise, it's not singing. You can't sing like this.
And I think I am, which is really interesting.
I know.
But I'm not.
But you gotta look in the mirror.
I know, that's scary.
And you gotta pucker up. You gotta do fish exercises and,
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So I think, kids, for this section, we're almost finished, but I just wanna tell you, this has been fun. It's gonna be more fun later. I don't know who's gonna be here later, but
It's funner
man,
and
this is a
funner.
blast, and it's great to share these insights with you. I hope I haven't offended anybody. Well, it's too late because I am.
Yeah, there's still time.